We'll just do it for another one of our little nature walks of the day. And this is Durham Wildlife Trust asking you to be a volunteer there. We're down Shibdon Pond. It's down the bottom of Blaydon, Durham Wildlife Trust. And we're gonna just stick on the footpath to see what we can see. It's quite windy, so
you're probably not going to hear now.
you're not going to hear much on the camera. We're sheltered at the minute, but once you get past some trees and that, it just blasts across the microphone. Oh, there's a couple of pigeons there. It's a bit of an old nest, isn't it? But you get the sedge wobblers and everything down here.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be something nesting in there, but you can look at it.
Oh, no. But we might see them because you got there's all them big reeds over the top of these ones here, but you got the proper ones.
Was it last year when we came down here?
We did, aye, because there was a swan's nest just on the other side of this pond there. It was sitting on them. No. And last year, I think it's actually the first video I put on my other account, YouTube. Aye. Is it a coot? I don't know what they're more like. I'm not sure. Hey, the swans nesting in exactly the same place. Both of them are there.
Unless there's
some ducks.
Mallards.
Aye. We'll get into the clear down here and have a look at these.
They'll meal them, aren't they? They'll meal ones.
Aye. Aye, they are.
Right, there's the swans sitting on the swans. It's a pity you couldn't get somewhere high up in there so you could
get a good look onto them. It just, because when they've both been there, they could be brooding little. Oh, they are. There's little cygnets there. I can see them all. Little cygnets, little swans.
All right, I can see them with the bank.
Aye, there's one on the edge of the nest, and there's a few on the nest.
Ducklings.
I'll see if I can
see
if I can zoom into them. Aye.
What's that little one there? When them two there next to
see
the
that? Aye, that's the female tufted duck.
Is that what they are?
Aye, the black and white one and the brown one's the female. That's what we found up the moors.
The tufted duck.
Aye, the female's properly camouflaged now compared to the male stands out a lot.
I don't think I've ever even seen a swan's egg, there's got to be some size of them.
Aye, I've never seen them on YouTube.
And there. Duck trying to get up there. At the bank.
Oh, the little cygnet.
Aye, on the bank.
Aye.
Oh, cygnet, duckling.
The ugly duckling, aye. There's quite a few on the nest. You'd think these ones will have a good mortality rate down here. Compared to the ones in the smaller ponds where foxes and that can get a run.
I'm saying that, they'll still get in here though.
You'll get foxes in here.
Things will still get in here.
But when this water being as deep, I think they'll have a good chance though, won't they?
Still might be other things we've got.
Aye.
Stoats and stuff. There's a little water hen over there now. Water hen, just the bank side.
Oh, aye.
Honey, you got there too?
There's quite a few. They must hang around where the swan is, because it's like safety.
All this is man-made because the big pond behind me, that's been there for years, but that was man-made. How many years ago? But it's always been there since I remember.
Aye.
It was man-made because I reckon it's only about, really way across, it's only about 3 foot deep, even in the middle.
Aye. So it's not too bad seeing them.
Normally we're on the bank side over this big bit pond, there's normally a load of the Canadian geese.
Aye, them Canadian geese there.
There's normally dozens of them.
Aye.
Over the bank, so. It doesn't actually take a long walk, doesn't it?
No, it's only about a 10-minute walk around here. There's footpaths, but they only can see far around and then back out. But we haven't heard much since we're coming up, apart from them. there's a lot of rushes over the top. You've got that's where I might see some of the smaller birds over the back end. Because there's not a lot uses this like marshy stuff. Apart from the swans and the coots and that.
Probably will be something nesting in there.
Aye, they'll be sitting quiet, won't they? This time they'll probably have young or eggs. This is that time of the year. This is the best time of the year to come and see birds, like, isn't it? Really. You get a lot of people in the winter where you get all them winter migrants, but that's a bird watcher's just a favourite time for them. I think they just had the one because they've got to look after them. The young stay with them for quite a while. That looks well used. Like as if someone's using it now, like a swan or something, and using that as a regular pathway through one end to the other.
Yeah, the swan is supposed to live a really long time. I don't know if it's true, but something like now 50 years and so I don't know if it's true. I heard it somewhere that they live now a long time.
Aye, well, they'll probably say, eh? No, I can hear some strange birds up here. Because it's not very often we come down these places, so I didn't recognise these bird songs.
I'm married at spotting the woodland bird.
Aye. It's like I've seen the little
song.
No, you can hear them in the background.
I can't hear them.
Do you know these what do you call them? I forget what you call the things now. I've just mentioned them before.
What?
Now these birds that nest in here, the little ones.
We had seen them like that shrill noise. Can you hear that? What's
I
that?
think it's just here. You get the sedge warblers and you get the reed warblers, but reed warblers are a little bit rarer up here.
Did you hear that one there? What was making
it was like a burring noise. Aye.
It's like I say, I recognise most of the woodland birds with ponds and stuff like that.
This is the stuff where you find them in. We heard a lot since we walked in. Pity we couldn't just gang in through there, but when there's been a nature reserve, I didn't think they'd be too happy, like. Aye. Because it would be nice to find, like a reed warblers or a sedge warblers, because you do get the cuckoos in them. Oh, there's one. Aye. That's just seen it jumping, like flying across the path.
Too quick, like I probably wouldn't have knew what it was.
Aye, it went straight into the reeds. That's one of them in there.
What's that noise then? Can you hear that?
That's going to be the reed button or the sedge wobbler. They make the same noise as the warblers, do you know, because they've got that alarm call. It'll be low. I think it's low down just in there somewhere. Because that's the other one that just flew in. I've just heard it again. Aye, that's the alarm call on them. I would like to get in and see them, because you just didn't see them when you're on the path. Aye, it's a bit of a
just
pasture.
Just we walked into it still a bit.
Aye. They're probably all the sedge warblers. I will walk through here.
There's still a bit of it.
There's still more reeds over the back there, or rushes.
Well, looks like there's a bit of a platform over there, so it must be weird just to go and run around itself.
Oh, it does. The guns run in a circle here.
But the last time we walked through here, there was a way what just stopped and we'd open like a bit of a...
Like a grass pasture thing just over the top here. You can hear dogs barking in the distance. You'd think they would have them on leads. Well, they should have them on leads.
On the green, you'd have crossed where we'd come in.
Yeah, aye. But you've got all them birds nesting in that though. They shouldn't really have dogs on a nature reserve. Realistically.
There might be a cross on the field.
It could be, aye. I suppose people have got to walk the dog somewhere on a lead. It's not as windy here. Well, it is windy, but we're blocked in, so it shouldn't be affecting the microphone as bad as what I thought it would be.
No, this is where it just guns into the bit up and
Bit of a meadow.
no.
They've left this like this for the birds, like the other birds for the seed eaters and stuff, haven't they? I will have a stroll around it.
If you're not in the gate.
Dog walkers, do not allow your dog to follow any right away or adjacent land. Please remove any mess your dog makes. They normally do, but they just hide in a bag and stick it up a tree somewhere.
Dog crap having in the trees.
Aye.
You can see the pipe putting it in the bag and
No.
finding it in the tree.
Right, the dog crap itself would waste away. Aye, it's...
supposed to be the birds recommend something the side.
Oh, right, aye. Didn't see that there.
I reckon. Blue tit.
Aye. Blue tit, grey tit.
Grey tit. Long tail tit, white throat. It's just a few of the plants here.
Aye, there's...
Cockney coming in. Reed button. In here. That's what it was on sedge warbler.
Sedge warblers, aye. So there must be more sedge, that's what them birds will be, sedge warblers. I didn't think there would be the reed warblers. They are a bit harder to find. Up north.
White warbler. Oh, white willow, man.
Oh, that's the plant, aye. I think it's got hawthorn and...
I was looking at it then reading the book.
Aye. That's a chip top.
White willow, like wood.
Aye.
Warbler.
This one's been having a good campfire. I'm really surprised if we got chased for doing that. Just having a fire in nature. Well, it's only run by the council, I suppose, and it's not private land, so they could camp out in day properly, couldn't they? Aye.
I didn't know you'd still
Instead of having a roaring fire there.
You're not, you're not allowed to camp anywhere, really, are you? Anyway,
No.
you get chased these days.
Aye.
You're private.
Stood in a puddle. Not watching where I'm going with a camera. Nah, not up here. We seem to be coming to the end of it. I'm not sure where these paths going, eh? We've been around there. We've come back onto this path where we came, and we're still around the back end, but we're going to walk around again. We've got the wind behind with this time, so we're hoping we might... It's not as big as what I thought. It looks huge when you're on the road, doesn't it? But these paths that just come through the backyard, and the little sedge warblers gone wild again. You can hear them, but you just cannot see them. We did see a couple come close to us last year on the path, but didn't have much of a camera then. I'm off the path here. I'm just going to walk to the water's edge and see if I can see anything. As this is a port, what you cannot really see from the path down into here. And this one is not too swampy. It is a little bit swampy. Ah, the fish jumped. It's one of them stone fishes. Kind of safe though. Well, see plenty, but no wildlife. The wind's dropped a little bit. I'm sure there's a hide, like a hut around that other end, in the trees, and you can see out of that little. Because we're back around to the end here. It's like it's only a 10-minute slow walk around the path. I would love to have seen one of these little sedge walkers. That's a sedge warbler. Aye.
So we'll walk back.
We'll walk back around and backwards. We're not gonna. For some reason, we're just not seeing anything close to where the deer. We've seen the swans and the ducks.
We'll probably have to sit still a while or something.
Aye.
Just
sitting around, I'd rather be walking around. You expect to see something in every corner on a nature reserve, but there's just not a lot in this one for some reason. Quite a weird, that's what it is, because there's a load of gulls and other birds down there. See, just doing there, there's all kinds of birds doing that part.
Gulls and that.
Aye. They've got them proper little islands in the water all the way down.
See on the green there now, and there's on a bit of Canadian goose. I can just see through that tree down there.
Oh, it's good there. Aye. Nearly back to where the swan is. You probably not hear it very easily for the wind on the microphone. I'll cover it up with my hand a little bit. Block the wind on the mic. There's something in there.
Close, didn't it?
It was just here.
Whatever it was. And that kind of
like a shrieking noise, huh? Or a duck. I'm not even sure what noise them. Now them little tufted ducks. Not even sure what noise them are. They'll be running all over the place through there, eating everything. That's the island in the middle of the water.
is that a height? The height over there? You want to put stuff through the trees?
Oh, that's the bird watching height up straight forward, aye. They're probably watching us.
What's that?
So I can see somebody in the front of it. Back to where the swans is and the ducks. little close up with these. People must come along here and just feed them off, yeah.
Because when we've seen them on the river, you didn't get as close as
No,
this
you
thing.
didn't get
Because
anything,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have to feed them because they're tough clubs that are coming out to
Aye, they
see
come,
what we're up to, you know.
come for a bit of food now, by the look on it.
I mean, the mallards is dead,
Well, we're at the end of the path now. That's where the swans and that were, the duck that we've just been looking at. And this is the way back out. Back up to the car park. It's been a bit too windy. You probably not hear most of what we're seeing on the video. But, you know, it's still okay.